When you were in high school, you suffered in a car accident, and you have that scar that you're famous for.
Now, yeah.
Now. You started modeling when you were younger, and you found it very difficult to get modeling jobs.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
And then you got a call from Helmut Newton.
Yes.
First of all, what was it like working for Helmut Newton, and how did that change? Because your life changed overnight.
Almost. I mean, I had a lot of college loan debt, and when I finished college, I had a degree in theater and American literature, and that didn't qualify me to do much. I didn't even have my teaching license, so I went back to Europe, where I had started modeling my last semester when I studied abroad, and I was doing the lowest rung of modeling. I was a fit model, which is basically being a human hanger for designers when they want to see if the clothes look good on a body, and what they've designed on paper and in their head actually walks and moves nicely. And I didn't care that it was the lowest rung of modeling, because it was still a crap load of money for me. So I was excited about it. But I don't think I would have ever thought to model because of my scar. This is also 20 years ago. This is before Photoshop and all of that. But I had no choice, and I found out how much money I could make, and it was a need thing. I think hunger is a very good motivator. And so I was doing this kind of modeling. I was sort of a bench warmer for the rest of my modeling agency, and every now and then they'd throw me a job here and there when no one else was free to do it. And that's how I tooled along. And then Helmut Newton found me because his agent had taken some pictures, and he wanted to book me for an exhibit he was shooting called Big Nudes 2. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Helmut's work, but he did this gorgeous series of very provocative and very strong photographs of women in the 70s. And I'd never done anything like that, and everyone was so excited at the agency. They were like, wow, the underdog finally scored one, so to speak. And then as I got closer and closer to the job date, I felt nervous. My grandfather was still alive. I thought, what are people going to think? And I canceled the job like 2 days before, which is terrible unless you're sick, but I wasn't. And then, everybody was mad at me. They couldn't believe I did that at the agency. I was afraid they were going to let me go. And then 6 weeks later, Helmut called back, and he said, what if you don't have to take your underwear off? And I said, great. And so I wound up working with him anyway, and he booked me right on the spot again, and it wasn't in spite of my scar, it was because of it. In fact, in one photo that he took, you don't even really see my face because my hair is over a lot of my face. In fact, the scar is kind of the star of the shot. And, modeling is success as a model is also about what's in vogue at the time and what's trendy. There are a lot of beautiful models who don't work because their look just isn't in fashion at the time. So this was also the time of grunge was just coming in, and all these tattooed models you would see on Calvin Klein ads and stuff. So I also was able to catch that zeitgeist and have a moment because of that. And it really changed the way I felt about my body, because I finally saw myself literally and figuratively through someone else's lens, in this case, a master photographer who everyone else respected. So they were still checking my sleeves, but this time, instead of making sure they were long to cover their scar, they were checking to make sure they were short so everyone would know it was me under all that makeup on the runway. And that was the first time I finally thought, oh yes, this is kind of strange and wonderful. This is different than anyone else. And it didn't happen overnight. I mean, my own feelings about my body and my self-image, it happened slowly over the course of my lifetime. And there are still days when, I don't feel that confident, but I know how to fake it now.